Let's get started. The first and foremost very important skill that is required for software testers is the testing mindset, right? Now, testing mindset involves a lot of skills basically, but the first thing is to assume whenever you are working as a tester, you don't assume that the system or the software is going to work as expected. You assume that there are bugs, right? When you are going through a documentation, you assume that there is a problem with the documentation. When you go through the requirement, you assume that it might have some gaps, right? It might have some of the issues or some of the acceptance criteria that are missing, right? So that assumption gives you the ability to question, to go ahead and question the information that is present with the stakeholders, with the business analyst, and help identify any gaps. Okay, that's the first thing. Second very important testing mindset skill is thinking or systems thinking, right? So thinking about the system or the software as a whole. What is the purpose of it? What is the end-to-end scenario? What is the end-to-end solution that that particular application that you are going to test is going to solve for the end user, right? Say for example, you are going ahead in a banking application or testing a banking application. What that particular banking application is going to solve the purpose for end user. Now, if you are working in, say for example, any of the bank and you are testing their app, now that banking app will solve the end user's purpose basically to view their bank balance, to transfer the amount to different people, to do the online shopping, to do other sort of payments. So a lot of use cases from the end user's perspective, right? So thinking of that whole system as a whole and from end user's perspective is very, very important, right? So system thinking is thinking from the system as a whole perspective, end to end. And then the next important point is seeing from the end user's perspective, right? So thinking about or seeing what end user is going to do from that particular application, how that application is going to help the end user. This thought process is always going to help you guys, and make sure that you inculcate or you start thinking in that particular direction before you jump into the conclusion to the test cases. These steps are important. This thinking is important, right? And then always have the exploratory behavior, right? So these are the 4 key points that I could come up with. There are many other aspects to it, but exploratory behavior is a behavior wherein you have always the behavior or thinking that you explore about the application. You don't stick to the number of test cases that you just have documented. You can't document 100% of the test cases and the scenarios. When you start executing a particular test cases, during that, if there is something that comes up in your mind that I should also go ahead and test this particular input, go ahead and test it, right? Having that exploratory behavior is also very, very important. So these 4 points will be really helpful, and this is what testing mindset is. And make sure that you inculcate the testing mindset before actually even thinking about starting a career or progressing in the career, right? Now, many people just start the career, but you do not know what the testing mindset is. It's obvious, right? It was with me as well. I mean, I didn't learn this prior to joining, right? So as and when you go ahead and go along, you learn this, right? The good thing is nowadays you have so much good information flowing around. Make sure that you follow the right information, right? Not the misinformation. Even on YouTube, you will find a lot of misinformation. So avoiding misinformation, following the right information from the right set of people who are really experienced in that particular field is going to help you in excelling your career. So that's the first part. Okay. Now the second part of the most important skills for the software tester is the non-technical skills, right? Now, many people just propagate or promote that only automation is going to help you, Selenium with Java. That's very, very minimal part of your whole roles and responsibilities. Okay, that is important, but there are many, many more important things apart from just that programming, data structure, and writing the scripts, right? So what are the non-technical skills? Very important non-technical skills. 4 of them I'm going to cover as well. The first one, analytical and logical mindset. Now, analytical thinking is important because you as a tester are required to basically break down the big piece of system and software and think it in a smaller units, right? So if you are able to break it down to smaller unit, think in a modular format, and then also as a end-to-end flow, that will help you to first test it independently and then also test different integration points and the system as a whole, right? So that's where analytical and logical mindset will be really helpful. The second thing, very important, is interpersonal skills, right? Communication, verbal, non-verbal, listening abilities, negotiation skills, right? Persuasion. So all of these skills come under interpersonal skills. Now, communication, why is it important? Because you need to document a lot of emails, you need to document test cases, test plan, a lot of things, right? So written communication becomes important. Verbal communication becomes important because testing is not just about going through and executing scripts, it's about collaborating and providing information to the stakeholders so that decisions can be made. So a lot of communication is involved and you will be talking to each and every team member very frequently, mostly every day, right? So interpersonal skills become really important. Now, this is not just about knowing English and if you're not fluent and very good at fluent English, that's not a problem. You should be able to have a level of comfort that you are able to communicate that information, right? So only that level is important, and eventually you will be able to pick up the language as well. As far as you are able to articulate what you want to say to the stakeholders, to your team members, that's absolutely fine. Now, the third very important non-technical skills is time management and project management. Okay, so time management and project management. Why? Because time management is required when you have to go ahead and document something, when you have to go ahead and execute the test cases. You need to make sure that you are able to do it in a relevant time frame, right? You should be able to estimate the work properly. Okay, you should be able to see how big the task is, right? So that's where basically how big the task is and how you are able to achieve that in that particular time frame. That's where time management skills become really important. And time management skills, everyone is coming from school and college, you already have those skills, right? You manage the exams, you are able to write the exams, you are able to finish it in 3 hours. So that's basically what the time management skills are. So in testing, you are going to apply something similar to see how big the chunk of work is and then how much time you might be able to use or require to achieve that particular piece of work. The fourth very important non-technical skill is willingness to learn. Okay, so willingness to learn is very important. Because as a tester, if you stop learning, you stop exploring, then you are basically not doing good anything to yourself and to your career, right? So your willingness to explore, to learn new thing, whether it's in the project, outside of the project, is very important as well. Okay, now coming to the third part, which is the technical skills. Okay, technical skills are the foundation basically. So these all non-technical skills and mindset you will be able to inculcate prior on. So many people have many of these skills by default. Okay, so you don't have to especially go ahead and prepare them, but technical skills, if you don't have, you have to go ahead and prepare those. So first very important technical skill is software testing fundamentals. So understanding the software testing fundamentals is very important. So going through what are the basics of software testing and the basics of the complete basic of how the testing is done and why it is important, what types of testing, all of that fundamentals is really important. If you can do ISTQB certification, all of these testing fundamentals are anyways covered in the software testing ISTQB certification. So with one sort of preparation, you will be able to learn the fundamentals as well as do the software testing ISTQB certification as well. So that will be a bonus add-on because ISTQB certification is very valued and will really help you to go ahead and excel in your career as well, because it's very well recognized worldwide. Okay, now the second very important technical skill is learning Jira. Okay, so it's a tool, it's a agile project management tool, but it is so widely used in nowadays in the projects that you need to understand what exactly it is and how to use it. And using Jira is absolutely simple. I have the playlist created for Jira and Confluence, so go ahead and go through those playlists for learning Jira and Confluence. Okay, I have playlist for software testing fundamentals as well, and ISTQB certification. I'll post the link for that as well. So these are the two very important technical skills to start with. Okay, now along with Jira and Confluence, you need to have the Agile Scrum basic skills as well. Okay, so I'll be posting a series, or the series is already posted. I'll be posting the link for that particular Agile and Scrum fundamentals knowledge as well. So it's just like 1 or 2 hours course, and you will be able to learn completely about the Agile, Scrum and Scrum fundamentals and how it is used in the software testing project for software delivery. Okay, now the fourth very important skill is learning any test management tool, right? So nowadays, because you are using Jira, so there are test management plugins within Jira itself. So Zephyr and X-Ray are very, very popular, and most of the time when you go into the project, you will be end up doing or using any one of these, and some projects might be using some other test management tool, but the concept remains same. If you learn one test management tool and capabilities within the tool, the implementation might be different, the look and feel might be different, but the overall concept will remain same. So I have created tutorial series on Zephyr and X-Ray as well. I'll be posting the links for those as well. Okay, now fifth very important aspect or skill is learning the API testing. So API testing or web service testing becomes really important. If you can't learn automation, at least you should know what APIs are, how you can go ahead and test it. Right now there are many tools available. There is a Postman, there is a SOAP UI, right? So, and there are other programming languages that you can use. There is a REST assured framework. So all of that tools can be used, but the easiest one to start with is Postman or SOAP UI. I'll be posting the link for those. The other one is Catalan, and all three tools I've created the series, and I'll be posting the link for those as well. Okay, now another skill is SQL. Okay, structured query language and database concept, because any application will have the data and data is stored into the database. You need to know how to fetch that data and see how, say for example, you are testing an e-commerce application. When you do a registration, where that registration information gets stored, it will be stored in some sort of data. Then you need to search that data, or say for example, I as a customer have registered, and then I want to see whether registration has been successful and that data is stored somewhere or not. Then that's where you need this structured query language to search for the data. And this is basically important because this is the basis of any, say for example, you are using any other type of or other database technologies, still the structure of querying will still remain same. So having that SQL knowledge will really help you to do any database testing and also help you in any end-to-end testing efforts. Now the next very important skill, technical skill, is Linux fundamentals. Okay, so Linux command fundamentals, so that is very important, and it will be a very short series. I haven't created it yet, but I'll be creating it very soon, and that will help you to understand what Linux Unix systems are and how to interact with those systems, and what are the common commands that you need to be aware of as a tester. Okay, now the next important skill is web automation. Okay, and that's where this Selenium, Java, Selenium, Python, Karate framework and lot of low code, no code frameworks come in picture. Okay, now this one part is promoted so much apart from all other skills, which is basically highly sad to see in the market, right? Because this part is exaggerated. I would say that it will solve all your problems, right? It's not going to solve all your problem. It's not going to do analytical thinking for you. It's not going to do any sort of communication, verbal, non-verbal. It's not going to do any management for you, right? So this skill, learning web automation, is important. It will help you to expedite your testing by automating the repetitive work, okay, or automating the web scripts that you usually say. For example, there is a regression suite and there is a website that you want to automate that regression suite. So you can use these web automation tools. So Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python. There is a Tosca, which is a low code automation tool, right? And then there are many other low-code automation tools nowadays in the market, but Selenium with Java is very, very popular, wherein you will be needing the requirement for Java as well as Selenium, right? There is a series that I have posted for RobotFramework, which is for web automation. There is a series for Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python. All of those series, I'll be posting the link. So you can pick any one of it, whichever is easier. I would recommend picking Karate, okay, because that's the easiest one if you are a fresher, okay, to start with, and you don't need any sort of heavy programming skills to start with Karate framework, okay. So I'll post all of the links that are there. Now the last very important thing that I think, okay, and this might be this is basically what my experience has been, what has helped me to progress in my career and have a great career overall, is a cloud computing basics, right? So last skill, which is very important because cloud computing is the latest technology. I mean, it's not latest, it has been there for a while, but nowadays everyone is moving towards cloud, so you need to have that understanding of the cloud computing basics as well, okay. So these are the 8 very important technical skills. For cloud computing basics, I'll be creating a series as well, so which will be specifically for the testers, so it will be, you know, easy for you guys as well. So whatever series I have, most of the series I have apart from Linux, okay, and cloud computing, which will be coming very soon. But apart from that, most of the things are there. This is the complete roadmap. If you are a fresher, experienced person, you want to grow as a test lead manager, learn these skills, guys, and your career will be in a totally different trajectory and direction, okay. And these skills, you don't try to learn all at once. Basically, keep learning or make learning a habit, right? So this learning all of this will take time, okay. So make sure that you are easy on yourself and you give time to each of these skills and you consume the information, practice it, and then go ahead and basically progress and excel in your career, right? You will see that as soon as you will start learning, you will start gaining more confidence, and eventually you will land up in the job if you're not already, and you will start progressing in your career if you haven't been progressed or promoted, okay. So that's all for this particular video, and I hope this was helpful. So see you in the next very important tips and tricks video. Thank you.